Good day, guys. Today I'll be reporting about placing students on the job. In this topic, I'll be discussing two key points. First, training agreement and tracing plan. Second, placement of trainees. Why there's a need for the student to undergo an on-the-job training? We have 7 reasons why they should undergo on-the-job training. First, this is one of the course requirements for graduation. Second, to expose and become familiar with work-related environment related to their field of specialization, and also to enhance their competence. Third, to gain relevant and practical industrial skills under the guidance of industry experts and workers. Fourth, appreciate the importance and application of the principles and theories taught in school. Fifth, enhance their technical knowledge and skills. Six, enrich their skills in communication and human relations. 7. Develop good work habits, attitudes, appreciation, and respect for work. This prepare them to meet the needs and challenges of employment or higher education after graduation. Training agreement or memorandum of agreement, we call it MOA. It serves as a legal document and describes the terms and details of the partnership agreement between the students, parents, school or practical teachers, and the partner company. So the agreement of student and the company. Student or trainee shall abide the rules and regulations set forth by this institution, company, office, where she or he is undergoing the work immersion or the on-the-job training. This means that the student should always follow the rules and policy of the company. The student should always observe discipline and right conduct. The student should wear the appropriate dress code. Almost all company has their dress code that needs to be followed by the students, or the company will set a dress codes for the students to be identify the students from the regular workers. The student should not engage in gambling, illicit activities, drinking intoxicating beverages, and related activities while at work or within the institution premises. This means that the student should avoid any wrongdoing or activities that will affect their performance. The students or the trainee is expected to submit reports and requirements on time. These should submit reports most likely to their school coordinator or direct supervisor. This includes the daily accomplishment reports and weekly journal. As we go on with the reports, I'll present to you an example of daily accomplishment reports and weekly journal. Agreement of parents or guardian, school and the company. The parents or guardian shall co-sign the training contract to manifest approval or consent to the on-the-job training of their child. They shall also issue a waiver of consent. Here's the example of a consent form that needs to be signed by the parents or guardian. Training agreement between the school and the company. Both the school and the company has a joint responsibility, which is to create a joint working group that will prepare the action plan to operationalize the partnership. This means that the school and company should have the respective coordinator to prepare the activities that must be performed by the students while they are in the company. They should form a joint steering committee to monitor the progress of the partnership and to make sure that the provision of this memorandum of agreement are met. They should adhere to all laws, memoranda, and circulars, especially pertaining to child protection, as provided for in the guidelines for work immersion. When we see child protection, it refers to 1987 Constitution, which state shall defend the right of the children to assistance and special protection from all form of neglect, abuse, like psychological or physical abuse, cruelty, and exploitation, which was divided into two main forms. First is the sexual exploitation. It refers to the abuse of a position vulnerability. differential power, or trust for sexual purposes. Then the other one is economic exploitation. It refers to the use of the child in work or other activities for the benefits of others. Let's say the student is enrolled to TBL track with ICT strand and was tasked to repair the computer of his supervisor's friend, which is located outside the premises. It is very clear that the supervisor did not follow the agreement. They should develop the student's work immersion module specifying goals and objectives, desired outcomes of the program, and how these outcomes will be achieved. Also, noting the specific knowledge, skill, attitudes, and competencies that the student should acquire after completing the program. Here's the sample of work immersion module. Both school and company should also develop a work immersion daily schedule of activities that will be followed by the students during the whole duration of the work immersion program. And here's the sample of work immersion daily schedule of activities. They should formulate local school work immersion policies and guidelines on selection, placement, monitoring, and assessment of students, immersion partners participants, in order to ensure that each student is assigned to an immersion partner matched to his or her desired track, qualification, and aptitude. As part of the agreement, the school is responsible of the following. First, identify and indicate the senior high school tracks, strand, and or the specialization which will be the subject of the partnership. Let's say the student is enrolled to TBL track ICT strand with computer system servicing specialization. The school should partner with the IT company. Second, make the needed adjustment to contextualize the senior high school subject based on inputs from the company. Third, designate a person who will be in charge of coordinating with the company and supervising the activities of the student for the duration of the work immersion program. So, which means the school should appoint a teacher that will be in charge of supervising the student. And sometimes we call them a practicum or work immersion coordinator. Fourth, provide inputs into the curriculum through the discussion or workshop that DepEd will organize. Fifth, continue to exercise its special parental authority under the family code over the senior high school student under immersion in the premises of the partner. 6. Monitor its student progress through the duration of the entire work immersion program so as to make sure that the tasks assigned to each student are meaningful, challenging, and applicable to his or her particular programs and are able to maximize the quality of the learning experience. 7. Provide the company an evaluation tool for the student immersion performance. 8. Issue a final grade to the student upon completion of the requirements within a prescribed period. If the student already done with the work immersion, then they already accomplished all the requirements, the school should give or issue a final grades. 9. Ensure that the student will adhere to non-disclosure policies of the city as agreed to by the school. 10. Provide signed consent forms from the parents as applicable. I already show you earlier the consent that needs to be signed by the parents. 11. Provide the company a certificate of participation in the senior high school program for whatever purpose it may serve. So after the work immersion of the student, the school should issue or give a certificate that will serve that the school and the company has a participation for the work immersion of the students. 12. Execute a deed of acceptance as a way of recognizing and acknowledging the donation received from the company. So if the company give a donation to the school should issue a deed of acceptance to the company. 13. Review, facilitate, and endorse the application of the company to avail of the tax incentives or exemption as is specified in the RA 8525 otherwise known as the Adapt a School Act of 1998. This means that the school should facilitate any documents that will give and serve as privilege to the company to avail in tax incentives. If you notice, some of the company donate classrooms or equipment to the school because they can save a lot of money than paying the regular tax through the Adapt School program. 14. Provide insurance coverage for the learners during the work immersion program. As a part of the agreement, the company shall assign a competent immersion coordinator from the company to liaise with the school and supervise the student without prejudice to the special parental authority of the school. Its administrators and teachers for the duration of the work immersion program so as to ensure efficient implementation of all stages of the program. So as we have discussed earlier, the both responsibility of the company and the school is to assign a coordinator. Second, provide inputs into the curriculum through the discussion of workshop that DepEd will organize. Third, lend its expertise by making available its resident resources persons to provide training to the students. So the company should lend a worker that will train the students in line with their specialization. Fourth, allow the students to be deployed to the different section, departments, project sites of the company based on the work immersion daily schedule of activities. Fifth, agree to the required number of hours of the immersion program set under the DepEd Senior High School curriculum. Six, provide immersion opportunities for a maximum of 5 or 3 students per school year 2016 or 17. So the company should provide or should accept a maximum or minimum of students per year as based on the memorandum of agreement. 7. Provide student with an orientation about the company, the job as well as expose them to the various stakeholders of the community in which it operates for the student to get a holistic understanding of the company. 8. Similarly, ensure that the student undergo training related to their course and provide the student with work activities based on the activities listed in the prescribed template for the immersion program. Let's say, based on their immersion program, the student should learn how to configure a network. However, the company provide them different tasks. The company did not follow the agreement. 9. Make its workplace and facilities available to students and shall similarly take all necessary action to ensure the safety of students within their areas of operation at all times, which shall include, but shall not be limited to, the provision for personal protective equipment or PPEs, if applicable. Ensure that the student will not be exposed to hazardous materials and working environment throughout the duration of the immersion. This means that the company should keep the students safe in the whole duration of their immersion. 10. Evaluate student performance in the immersion venue by accomplishing provided evaluation tools. So as we go on, I will show you the evaluation tools. 11. Issue a certificate of completion to the student or trainees upon satisfactory compliance with all requirements of the program. So if the company should issue a certificate to the students that will serve for the students to comply all the requirements of the school. 12. Execute a deed of donation in favor of DepEd for the completed work immersion partnership. 13. Submit to the Adapt a School program secretariat at all pertinent documents in support of the amount specified or claim for the tax exemption application of the company. So the school has to process the Adapt a School program that was submitted by the company. So the company should submit it so that they will avail the tax incentives or exemptions. Liability. The schools, its administrator, and teachers exercising authority and supervision over the students undergoing OGT or immersion in the premises of the partner company may be held accountable for the student acts. So every act of the student, the school and the administrator and the practicum teachers will be held liable. or accountable. Each, each party shall answer for losses and damages arising from any accident, act, or omission directly attributes to its fault or negligence, which may cause death or bodily injury to any persons, or loss or damage to property by or on an account of the performance of the respective obligation by the parties pursuant to this agreement. Such responsibility shall continue to remain that of the responsible parties even after the termination of this agreement and such losses and damages were incurred during the effectivity of this agreement. So which means that if there's a losses or damages, each party should pay the damages or the losses. DepEd shall not be liable for opportunity losses of the company during the duration after the termination of this agreement. Non-disclosure provisions. It is expressly understood by DepEd and the student that all information on technology, manufacturing processes standard, quality assurance methodologies, quality standards, production capabilities, raw materials, purchasing, marketing, finance, and all other related documents manual and operational and technical matters that the company shall make available to them shall be used for the sole purpose of student training. So which means all of the manuals or any documents that was given only for the students will be for the students only. The DepEd should not disclose any documents. All of these matters are classified as confidential in nature and proprietary to the company, and thereby its student hereby undertakes to prevent transfer of such information by any of its members to any party outside the company. So if there is a important document or confidential that was given to a student for training purposes, the student will secure that file within only the company premises. So most likely, the company will not allow the student to bring a flash drive because the flash drive will going to copy all the files. Ownership of output and intellectual property. Intellectual property is developed by the students as a part of his or her regular OGT or work immersion duties in the company under corresponding copyrights and or patents shall be belongs to the company. So if the student made or created a patentable works, all the credits should belong to the company. Intellectual properties developed by the students outside of his or her regular or work immersion duties in the company under corresponding copyrights and or patents shall belong to the student, even if the student used the time, facilities, materials of the company, unless otherwise stipulated in a separate agreement between the student and his or her parents or guardian of the company. Let's say the student make or created a patentable works. However, he used or she used the facilities within the company. Still, the patent or the credits will be given to the students. But if there is a separate agreement between the students and the company or the parents that the works will be credited to the company, then the student has no rights. Other provisions. It is expressly understood by the parties that the company is not obliged to pay wage or salary since there is no employer or employee relationship that exists. However, the company is not precluded from providing the students with any monetary or financial assistance in the form of transportation fee, food allowance, and etc. For this, there's also a company that provide allowance. However, as a whole, company is not obliged to pay wages. Tracing plan. The faculty practicum coordinator is expected to conduct an initial site visit to ensure that the training facility is safe and conducive for the student. The faculty practicum coordinator is expected to review, orient, interpret, and clarify to the student or trainees the objectives of the on-the-job training program. It is the responsibility of the faculty practicum coordinator to do a regular monitoring of the students or trainees under him or her to check on their overall performance and discuss with the on-site supervisor to further improve the on-the-job training program or the immersion program. This will ensure immediate resolution of student or trainees' concerns, if there is, as well as provide an opportunity to evaluate the on-the-job program and follow up on the progress of the student or trainee. So it's all the faculty practicum coordinator works to monitor and to check the daily time record or the daily accomplishment report and also the weekly journal. Faculty practicum coordinator should meet with his or her student regularly on periodic examination schedules for student feedback on the respective assignments to validate complaints concern of both parties, if any. So if there is any issue within the company and the students, then the practicum coordinator should know. Practicum coordinator also is responsible in evaluating the student or trainees reports. Like what I have said, they are also responsible for the daily accomplishment reports or the weekly journal of the students for self-evaluation and will give the final grade taking into the consideration the evaluation of on the on-site supervisor. So the on-site supervisor has also a uh, evaluation to the students if the students is always late about the performance or about the policies and so on and so forth. So in order to ensure effective learning through actual work exposure if achieved during the on-the-job training or work immersion, student trainee will be evaluated and the on-the-job or work immersion program monitored. So it is also the work of faculty practicum to check and to ensure that the work emission program is monitored. I have here a sample of a daily time record or weekly journal. Student trainees will be required to submit a daily time record and weekly journal duly noted and signed by the on-site supervisor or to the faculty practicum coordinator, outlining his or her observation, learning and reflection relative to the actual work or she was exposed to. And here is the example of daily time record. This student started his work immersion on April 9, and here is the accomplished report, orientation about MDF, because he is on the PLDT. He has the work immersion in PLDT, so his time is 8 p.m. to 5 p.m. So every day he will get the 8 hours. Then we have also the weekly reports. So if you notice what all the work accomplished during a week was compiled into a weekly report. So the report will help ensure that the school and the partner institution company office are updated on the job experience or the work emission of the student or trainee and assess whether it is congruent with the agreed upon training plan and learning objectives. Since they have the work immersion plan, the time record and the weekly report helps to check whether the work experience of the student is congruent to the training plan. The weekly journal or report will be assessed and synthesized by the faculty practicum coordinator. Supervisor evaluation. The student trainee will be evaluated by the partner institutions, company, office assigned on-site supervisor on a bi-weekly basis on the merit of work performance, competence, work attitudes, compliance to submission of reports, attendance and professionalism. So here is the example of supervisor evaluation that is given by the practicum coordinator. Placement of trainees. So we have here track, strand, specialization, duration, LGO office, private establishment. So for the senior high, we have here academic track, and the strand is STEAM. Then the duration is 80 hours. So the student will have their work mission for 80 hours. They can apply or the school can partner with the LGO office, which is engineers office, environment and natural resources office, health office, office agricultural services, or office the agriculturist. of the agriculturist. Then for the private establishment, they can partner with engineering and construction, factories, food processing, healthcare, manufacturing companies, medical service, pharmacies. Then we have also TBL track. Strand is industrial arts. Specialization is electrical installation and maintenance in situ (AIEM). Then the work immersion duration is 80 hours. So the school can partner with the LGU office, which is in General Service Office, local electric cooperative. Then for the private establishment, they can partnership with the construction companies and maintenance department. Then it's another TBL, agri-fishery. The strand is agri-fishery. Then the specialization is landscape installation and maintenance, or NCH. Then the work duration for the immersion is 80 hours. Then the school can partnership with the LGU office, General Service Office. Then for the private establishment, they can partnership with the building construction and resident construction. So for another TBL track, understand is the ICT. So specialization is the computer system servicing NC2. So for the work emission duration is 80 hours. Then they can partnership with the LGU, General Service Office. And for the private establishment, they can partnership with the IT companies. Then for the art and design track, and the strand is art, visual arts. There's no specialization, so the student can have their work immersion duration for 80 hours. Then art and design can partnership with a private establishment like advertising offices or printing, art galleries, and TV stations. So another track, sports. There's no strand, so the student can work or can have their work permission duration for 80 hours. Then they can partnership with fitness shops, gyms, sports, and clubs. I have here the references, so just read references. Okay, thank you so much for listening and watching my videos. Have a good day ahead. Bye bye.